Lauren, thank you so much for joining us on this Customer Highlight podcast. I'm very excited to have you. We've talked on the phone a couple times, and you've just been a joy every time we've chatted. So really excited to have you on this podcast. But if you'd be willing, would you just share a little bit more about your organization, about you, and what you guys do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so Chosen Infertility Group is a local Michigan nonprofit. We help those that are struggling with infertility with in several different ways. We have monthly support groups to help uh, those that are kind of struggling emotionally as they're going through their journey, and then we also have financial grants. So for for myself, my husband and I struggled with infertility for 3 years, and going through IVF and getting treatment was very expensive. It can cost on average $20,000 just for one round of IVF. So we have financial grants to help people be able to have the means to move forward with their treatment. Oftentimes, there's just so many different avenues. You often have to be your own advocate as you're going through this. And so we have a lot of different amazing referrals and people that can kind of help, like acupuncturists, dietitians, things like that. So we also help connect in that way.
Amazing. And I know that's an issue that's both, obviously a lot of people struggle with it, and I'm sure it's certainly a private issue for a lot of folks too. So it's amazing that you're out there, supporting families and folks like that too. So that's awesome. Is it mainly Michigan focused? Do you stretch outside of Michigan? What's the kind of geographic? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's enough work just in Michigan alone, but how does that work?
Totally. So right now we are mainly in Michigan. We
Okay.
currently have 10 grants that are open to apply for. We are partnered with three of the largest fertility groups in the area, RMA of Michigan and Troy, Dr. Gago in like the Brighton, Ann Arbor area, and then we've also got Dr. Kwalchek with Michigan Center. With that, the grants that we have are like IVF, IUI. We do have a surrogacy grant, and that one is national. So no matter where you are in the United States, you can apply for the surrogacy grant. That is through Circle Surrogacy. They're actually the largest agency in the world. And then we also have grants for acupuncture and therapy, as we know that as people are saving up for their treatment, those are often the things that go on the back burner. So to answer your question, while all of our grants are mainly for Michigan, the surrogacy one is national, and we do have plans on expanding. We'll be working on expanding to other areas throughout the country within the next year.
Amazing, amazing. So, I mean, obviously, just the description of what you guys do on a day-to-day basis is pretty special in and of itself. But what's sort of the, I guess for one, I don't know a ton of the different markets out there and organizations. Like, what makes you guys special? Why did you, obviously, you mentioned a little bit about your own personal story, so I can understand some of that. But the organization, like, what keeps you guys humming along? What's kind of the
Yeah.
special sauce behind it?
I think for us, I mean, one thing for sure that's pretty different is as anyone is going through the process, some people tend, I'm an open book. I share my story all day,
Yeah.
every day, but there are people that are a little bit more private. And so one of the special things with us is if you do apply for our grant, we actually do give you the option to remain anonymous.
Hmm.
We still would prefer if you can give us some pictures without your faces and things like that,
Yeah.
just to be able to show our community how the work is coming to fruition. But we don't necessarily need to put your face and your info out to really show that. So that is one thing that's a little bit different versus other places. And then the other thing is, oftentimes organizations do one or the other. Maybe one may help with the financial stuff, and then another one may just work with this emotional support and helping create awareness. For us, we kind of do everything. I sort of believe in, as I was going through my own journey, you're having to kind of figure everything out on your own. And I wanted to really create like an umbrella of sort where, as anyone's going through it, like this is a safe place to land with Chosen Infertility, and together we'll figure out all the things.
Sweet. I love it. That's I mean makes a ton of sense. And again, the work that you guys do is incredibly special and impactful, which is awesome. So we've got to know each other over the last couple of years, and you guys have used Wedge a part of your hiring process, which is amazing, and proud to play a small role in whatever we do with you guys. But would you mind sharing a little bit more about how that's worked in your hiring process, grant process? I know we've kind of talked about some different avenues, so we'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Prior to utilizing Wedge, we had simply just, as far as applying for the grants, we had our applicants send in a video, which was a pretty open ended thing for them to
Yeah,
do. I tried to kind of give some thought behind what we wanted out of the video, but it's an odd thing to do, videotape yourself and talk about your life. And so it's been really amazing having Wedge to utilize, where I can ask a question, it jumps to the applicant, they can answer it. And then also for me, like, it really streamlines the process, because sometimes people can kind of, keep going on their story, and instead of a 20-minute video, we now have a 5-minute video that really
sweet.
gets to the nuts and bolts of really what we're looking to find out about our candidates. So that in itself has been amazing. I also find it incredibly useful that I can easily send a link to, like our to the email or to the people that we work with within the other offices to gain their insight. And then aside from that, just being able to like rate people
Yeah.
within the application and write comments is like a quick note. It keeps everything definitely organized. Also just figured out this past week, what's super great is, of course, being in healthcare, HIPAA is a huge concern. And we work with a lot of different offices, so I really like that we've been able to give certain permissions to certain people and really categorize our grants and allow certain people to be able to be privy to that information. So all in all, it's been like an amazing tool. I cannot see doing it, without Wedge, for sure.
Well, that's music to my ears in a lot of different ways. But more importantly, if again, I kind of mentioned this, like if we can play a small role in the work that you guys are doing, that's very impactful for us and meaningful. And there's plenty of stressful days of running a business, but
Yeah.
moments like this are kind of what make it all worth it. So no, it's very 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 special. I'm very grateful for that. I mean, those are the three questions that I had. I guess, is there anything else you want to leave the audience with? Feel free to share anything more about you guys, or and anything else you want to leave the audience with.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody is interested in joining our mission or simply just needs help as they're going through their own chapter of this life, certainly visit us at choseninfertility.com. You can donate there, find out ways to get involved. We do have our annual gala every year, so that'll be coming up next year in April, and lots of different things in between. So, grants, a deadline is due September 1st. Definitely spread the word. We're still trying to get the word out that we're here to help.
I love it. I love it. Lauren, thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast. This has been amazing. And just thank you for all the work that you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.